So now that we have defined, we have presented our glossary with all the names that we are going to be using, like hypernymy, hyponymy, meronymy, antonymy, synonymy, etc. It is time to talk about WordNet, which is a very interesting resource used very widely in NLP, and it took quite a long time to build. So WordNet is a lexical database containing English word senses and their relations. We'll see more exactly what that means. The most important thing is that these are the word senses are organized as synsets. So each synset is a word sense. And these are sets of lemmas that have synonymous lexemes in one context. So in one synset, I can find words or lexemes that represent the same sense. Okay, so paper in this synset here means something different than paper in this other synset here. All right, so these are lexemes that we've talked about before. So a little bit more about WordNet. In version 3.1, we have synonyms, antonyms, hypernyms, meronyms, and the frequency information of these. Right. So frequency information is there to use it depending on the application. Christian Philbom is the main person. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if she didn't change affiliation, she is a Princeton professor. And she's very known for her very strong contribution to building WordNet. All right, so let's take a look at a few examples. So if I want to take a look at every sense, so this is like WN for WordNet for the word mouse, I will find that there are 4 senses to this word. Okay, so in the first one, small rodent, so this is mouse, the animal that we all know. All right, so the second one is more like a swollen bruise. All right. The third one is for a person who is quiet. And then the fourth sense is for the computer mouse. Okay, but you can do other things with WordNet. You can, for example, ask for hypernames. So hypernames, as we said, are the more general or the less specific concepts. So we take sense 1, and sense 1, as you can see, is the one that was small rodents. So we're going to take sense 1, and we're going to see what are the hypernyms for sense 1 here. So this would print for the 4 senses, but in this slide we show only sense 1. So mouse is a hyponym of rodent. Rodent is a hypernym of mouse. And then rodents is a hyponym of placental, mammal, vertebrate, chordate, etc., etc., until you go to entity, which is the highest concept in WordNet. You can do the same thing with meronyms. So if you remember, meronyms is about the parts and holonyms is the opposite direction. So in this case, if you're looking for the meronyms of mouse, you can find the mouse button. Okay. So in general, you can think about the semantic relations as a graph. All right. So you have, for example, something like a skyscraper, which is a very specific concept. And this is the hyponym of something that is more general, going up, up, up. If you keep following here, you should find entity at the end of the day. Then you have sister concepts, okay, to skyscraper, these guys over here. This is a synset, this is another synset. And then you have the meronyms that give you a different type of relation to other concepts that might belong to other parts of the hierarchy. So library should be under something here, under something up to entity, right? And this could help you navigate these concepts in many ways. But the most important thing is that now that you have a piece of text, and let's say that you have a word there, how would you go about to define which synset does it belong to? So when you say you have You have a sentence such as, I've been sitting on the bank all day, right? So you have bank. Bank is a word. It's not a lexeme. But if you go to WordNet, you will find that bank is a word that happens in two synsets. So synsets, let's make a stupid number like synset 901 and synset 1231. Okay, and in this case it means the financial entity, the financial institution, and in this other one it means the bench, chair, etc., etc., let's say. So the question is, if I mark this word for you, how would you know if I mean this one or that one? Of course, using the context in which this appeared. This is called word sense disambiguation, and this is what we'll talk about in the next video.